Hello, YouTubers.
What up, peeps? It's your boy T.
This is Emmy. And we're here to bring you SmackDown Live from Toronto of August 8th, 2017. And what a show it was.
It was actually quite interesting.
Gotta love the Toronto crowd for the two-day special we had them for.
Anyway.
Okay, I said love. They're still Canadian love.
Yeah, I will do that, especially since I was born in Oshawa, so.
Alright, see, there you go.
I may have been, but I grew up on the East Coast and here in Ottawa. So.
Yes, I know you're not part of the 6. You're part of the 905. Anyways, so we open tonight's SmackDown Live with John F. Cena. Comes out and says,
well, first he dances to the John Cena sucks chants from the crowd.
Oh, he always does that.
And then he says that song never sounded so good. And the crowd's booing and chanting him at the same time.
Well, I don't grant it for him being chipper on that particular Tuesday. It was his 5-year anniversary with Nikki.
I know, that's incredible.
So we have Cena come out. He says, you know who I like? You know, kicked my ass. You know, deserves to be WWE champion at SummerSlam this year. Shinsuke Nakamura. And then the crowd goes...
Despite the botch. But...
And the crowd, of course, is going wild, chanting for Nakamura's name. And then Cena gets...
Starts talking about Jinder. And...
Oh, yeah.
No surprise, the crowd starts chanting for Jinder. Because I'm pretty sure everybody knows he's Canadian.
Yeah, he's from Calgary. I'll get more to that later.
But Cena brought up the Montreal screw job, and well, the boos really happened.
Yeah,
that was actually interesting.
Which was funny considering how Toronto usually moves Montreal for basically anything. You can tell
there's a lot of hate.
You could tell there were a couple of halves in the crowd.
But even still, there was even here in Ottawa they still boo Montreal bad.
Well, yeah.
And Ottawa and Toronto kind of still have that animosity thing. But anyway, so Cena says that Nakamura deserves to be champ, and then lo and behold, guess who comes out to interrupt?
Mr. Money in the Bank, Baron Corbin.
With a new Titantron and new music, which we had already heard.
So Corbin comes out, says that he's the next future WWE champion. Everything else is relevant, and Cena does not deserve his time nor his in-ring capabilities. Between the squared circle.
And the crowd starts chanting dumpster fire.
Only in Canada we get weird shit like that. Well,
that's because us Canadians are awesome that way.
Dumpster. Even Cena's like, damn, even they're calling you dumpster fire.
And he was praising us Canadians. So, thank you, Cena.
Now speaking of praising, we have Daniel Bryan come out as Baron Corbin's trying to leave the ring. And the yes chants go all throughout the Air Canada Center.
There's actually a huge height difference between Daniel Bryan and Baron Corbin.
Well, Daniel's like 5'6", Baron's like...
I thought he was like 5'8", 5'9".
I'm probably underestimating it. But, Daniel Bryan comes... Oh, yeah, Cena's just sitting there like this. She's like, oh, yeah, I love this crowd. So basically, Daniel says out, you know I'm the GM, right? I make the matches, you don't. So
and he says that it's great to be in Toronto, and says, I don't know if you are a dumpster diver, or dumpster fire, and Cena pipes up and says, he is. And then Daniel Bryan makes a match at SummerSlam between Baron Corbin and John Cena.
So another SummerSlam match added to the card. It is also announced that we'll be getting a quote-unquote grudge match between Orton and Mahal, and no Singh
brothers are both out on injury.
Yeah, they both they get the night off.
And Shane McMahon's going to be laying down the rules.
The rules of engagement.
For the U.S. title at SummerSlam between AJ Styles, the current champ, and Kevin Owens.
Now should we get to the open match of the night?
Oh, darn right.
So we have the Usos. So the first contest, we have the Usos come out to the ring. And, they do their little shtick. They're waiting in the ring. They talk about how the tag team titles will be defended at SummerSlam at some point. And then we get the team of... First, we get the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger.
Who is actually from St. Catharines, even though he's dubbed from being from Niagara Falls.
Well, it's closer, so...
It's close, but still.
He comes out to Jordan and ruptures tan chance.
And, he was on Aftermath before this, so kudos to him for getting there before the match.
If anyone has that link to Aftermath, put it in the description. I put it in the comments. Anyways, then we have next who came out as tag team partner, which I've been saying for the last couple months these two would actually be a good tag team in the ring.
Sami Zayn. He loves El Generico, so in case you're wondering who that is Sami Zayn, but that was on the indie scene.
But I have love for the Perfect 10 as well.
So do I. I mean, I got a like and you got a retweet from him. But anyway.
Oh yeah, didn't mention that. But sadly, the match was what? The only match was not even 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, because they, what had happened was the Usos decided to attack,
basically
Ty's knee and kind of did the same thing to him. What they did to
American Alpha. Sami Zayn's pretty much.
I'm not impressed with, but anyway.
For some reason, Sami Zayn's just knocked out for about 3 minutes of the match, and the Usos they do the super kick to the back of Ty's knee and does. What is the name of that submission move that the Usos are using?
I don't remember. I honestly think it's like one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. And I mean, I've seen a lot of dumb stuff over the years.
Are you just saying that because Ty tapped out?
No, I'm saying the move itself looks dumb. Regardless if it works or not, it looks dumb.
Well, I'll say this much: after the match, Ty sold that knee injury really well.
To the point where Zayn was helping Ty to the back along with the ref. So.
Oh,
the crowd was booing the Usos.
I almost speaking of the Usos, I almost forgot. So the Usos still in the ring start cutting a promo on the New Day, saying it's normal. We want the titles. This is the Uso penitentiary, and day one ish.
Ugh.
And then all of a sudden, New Day's music pops up. I'm like, okay, here we go, typical setup. And but it's only Big E, mind you.
And he's in a jumpsuit, by the way.
Well, that's kind of New Day for you.
It looked I was like, really? And I was like, well, where's Kofi and Xavier? Next thing I know, they're sneak attack on the Usos, which I thought was actually kind of incredible and kind of funny.
Well,
they try to hit I think it's Jimmy with the chairs, but Jay saves him from being hit, and one of them actually falls on their butt on the stage. I was kind of laughing because I'm like, I've done that. I've done that.
So let's talk about one of just our most favorite segment ever, right, Emmy?
Wait. Before that, they do mention that there's going to be an interview with our girl Renee Young, with Shinsuke Nakamura later on. But let's get to our favorite favorite segment. Even though, I mean, there is an interview with Viper and Renee.
I cut you off.
And Randy starts talking about Rusev and then gender, but then that interview's over, and then Breezango Fashion Pigs.
Yes. Another
Rip-off!
Fashion Pig. Dun, dun. Okay, so I'm just going to put
Tyler Breeze is with the Ascension. He starts talking to a mirror and a picture. And then Fandango says he was kidnapped by aliens?
Oh, no, you skipped on a good couple parts there.
There's a reason for that.
So this is why you have me here. Tyler Breeze sits down, cuts about last week, while the Ascensioner is sitting there. And he was like...
Looking at a pie. And
basically, aren't you guys here to help me look for Fandango? No, we only came here for the pie. Bye.
Take the pie and leave.
Fandango walks in. She's like, dude, what happened? He
gives him coffee, and he spits it out, and he's like, what's going on?
She's like, if you could have came back anytime you want, why didn't you? Oh, anal probing.
Fashion? Something about fashion?
I don't remember what he said. I just remember the anal probing.
I was like, what?
And I was like, I'm psychic now. And the next person who walks that ring killed our horse, Tully. And who comes in?
Arn Anderson.
So, a horseman. Technically. Oh.
And he says that he's the one who destroyed the horse and then steals 2 donuts and then leaves. And then it says to be continued, and my reaction to that is to be continued, my arse. Because I really... why would you rip off something that was good? Don't rip it off.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Have you watched wrestling ever?
I've been watching it since 01.
Exactly my point. She gets it. Anyway, so next up we have
Charlotte Flair
versus Lana. So can I talk
And Lana's
about?
the one who asked for this match
Can I
because she
talk-
wants to be like Tamina.
Can I talk about this one?
Please do. 'Cause if I do, then yeah.
So as usual, crowd's chanting on Lana. She can't wrestle. They're laughing at her,
And then they say
she's
thank
not.
you, Lana.
I'll get to that. And basically she's doing the whole no sell. Oh, God. First of all, that girl needs to learn how to sell and learn her ring psychology. Swear to God, just throw her back down in NXT. No one's gonna know the difference. Truth be told, the only highlight of this match was a botch. As Charlotte's coming down and Lana's trying to do the roll up, accidentally pulls down Charlotte's tights, and the whole crowd opposite the hard camera saw it. And now from the footage I got sent by. There's a 13-second clip of the opposite hard camera, which shows her pants being pulled down, and she's like, "Oh crap, my thong's exposed," so she pulls her pants back up.
Oh my!
And then WWE.com reported that after bad backstage interviews where Becky and Charlotte do their tea time segment, and she's like, "So what happened out there tonight's show?" And Charlotte's response, "I wanted to put on a good show for Toronto."
I will admit that was actually a really good cover. I am very impressed with how professional that was.
Oh, and Charlotte beats Lana with the figure 8.
Which, no
Woo.
surprise. And
it gets announced that we'll have Naomi and Carmella later on in the night.
which we've already seen happen. But anyway, so Shane McMahon comes out to discuss the rules for the U.S. title match at SummerSlam between Styles and Owens. Shane first introduces KO. KO
Huge
comes
pop.
out.
Huge pop. I love it.
No surprise there, because I mean he is Canadian, whether he wants to admit it or not. And then Shane introduces AJ, and then AJ comes out. Kevin looks beyond ticked. The crowd chants AJ Styles and KO, and then Kevin actually apologizes for his behavior last week towards Shane and Daniel Bryan, which had me thrown for a loop, because I'm like, wait a minute, what?
I'm sorry, did you forget he's Canadian? Maybe.
Still though, I was surprised. And then Kevin makes a dig at the McMahon family, who about the Canadian who got screwed out of the title. We all know who that was.
Basically, bringing it like, I know the Montreal screw job. I don't care what happens to me. I expect it to happen. I'm Canadian.
And then AJ says, "What?" It says what because Kevin's worried about AJ because of the attack he did on Shane in March.
Oh yeah, tries to throw a little wedge between Shane and AJ with their rivalry of the past year.
And then AJ wasn't happy either about Shane being named as guest referee, and then AJ calls Kevin out on his BS.
Well, because no matter.
And then AJ also says that he doesn't trust anyone, especially a McMahon. And then Shane says he's not like the rest of his family, which I will give him that much. He really isn't.
He may not be like the rest of his family, but here's the thing: to a wrestler's eyes,
He's still a McMahon.
McMahon's a McMahon.
Yeah. Kevin makes a dig at Shane's past as referee, shows a clip from Survivor Series 98.
17 years ago, much?
Yeah. And then Shane tells both of them to kind of button it a little. And then Shane tells both of them not to give him a reason to get involved like that. And then Kevin makes a dig at Toronto.
You already mentioned that. I know, I'm just bugging you.
Well, still though, he makes a huge dig at Toronto, and then
brawl breaks out.
AJ accidentally kicks Shane, and then the crowd chants, "You screwed Shane!"
You screwed, which was perfect, by the way.
It was.
Only also chants, "Stupid idiot, stupid idiot."
And Shane says you're on borrowed time to AJ after AJ says to stay out of his way. And then it's Naomi versus Carmella next. But before we get there,
I was gonna say, did you want to talk about Naomi or Carmella, or should I?
I'll let you handle that one because I will go off like crazy because of who it is. Anyway.
So basically,
hold on, before we do that,
I was actually going
Lana
to get to that.
and Tamina backstage. Tamina,
Tamina says, "Lana, I like you. You got ambition. You got spunk, but you suck. So you're gonna help me now."
After Tamina has helped Lana several times.
Several.
Like, more than once. So Carmella comes out first, and then Naomi comes out.
Carmella versus Miss Money in the Bank. Now, I don't really have to tell you how this one goes. It's pretty much the same match we've seen with these two for the last,
while.
4 or 6 months. The only difference was...
Guess who came back?
He's
James
back.
Ugh. I can't stand him.
Been calling that one for like the last week. He comes out, helps, interferes in the match. Carmella wins. Everyone's happy. Yay.
Except me. I'm sorry. I love watching Naomi in the ring.
The only highlight was that Natalya came out afterwards backstage and was like, "You two better not interfere or else you're gonna be getting some."
And Carmella and Ellsworth run their mouths and basically say, "Oh, good luck on your match at SummerSlam, Natty." And start giggling amongst themselves, and you can tell that Natty looks worried.
Well, I don't blame her.
And I don't blame her at all. So, now it's time for the Shinsuke Nakamura interview with Renee.
Ah, yes, and to be true, I'm going to let you take this one, but I'm going to say this, to me, this is probably one of Nakamura's best promos, not only just upon the main roster, but probably in his entirety of his time with
WWE career.
That includes NXT. And actually, you know what? I'll put this second to that backstage interview conversation we had with Nakamura and Samoa Joe a few months back.
Oh, that was good. But anyway, so Shinsuke has stated he had always wanted to be in the WWE, and I was like, really? That's actually kind of interesting. Renee starts asking him about Cena, and Shinsuke says nothing but nice things about him. And then Renee mentions Nakamura will be watching the match between Orton and Mahal, and then Nakamura says he will defeat Mahal, and then Nakamura Dynasty begins at SummerSlam.
Gotta love how two proposed eight guys from Asia are fighting over an American Championship.
I still think it's kind of interesting. So now we get to the main event.
Hooray! Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal in no disqualification match.
I still can't stand Jinder. I a part of it's probably because I've been watching Orton since he debuted. Really.
Oh, Emily, don't hinder the Jinder. I know that's coming from me, but I'm bugging you.
You know how much I love the RKO. I'm sorry.
And you know how much I don't like Jinder at the moment.
It's hard to like him. Anyway, so Jinder comes out. Crowd starts chanting Jinder. Orton comes out. Orton looks ticked. No surprise. It's going to be Orton versus Rusev at SummerSlam, as was finally confirmed. So the crowd starts chanting Jinder. There's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, Jinder actually got a decently good pop for this Toronto crowd.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it's because pretty much all of Toronto knows he's Canadian. But I digress. So Orton connects with several clotheslines.
Goes for the
RKO, but Mahal pushes Orton into the barricade, which looked kind of painful. They go at it. Orton superplexes Mahal, which I was like, whoa!
Multiple kickouts.
And then Orton's DDT connects. He attempts an RKO, but Jinder attempts a roll-up. And then...
I love this last spot.
Hold on. Orton's RKO connects. He gets the 3 count. He wins, and he gets his revenge. Crowd's cheering. And lo and behold, guess who comes out? And I'm the one who actually called this. I actually called this happening.
I know, but you missed something. See, Orton did something in this match that I'm sorry, I've been waiting him to do since the rivalry, this dumb rivalry even started with Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal's going for his Cobra Clutch Slam, and all of a sudden, Orton just, does the smart thing. He was like, oh yeah, your head's like right there.
Yep. I was like, ha-ha! RKO.
I'm surprised it took me 3 months to notice that. So as the credits are rolling, Rusev comes out and super kicks Orton as the credits are rolling. And just stands there going like, Machka! And that's how SmackDown Live has ended.
And then next we actually have...
Now here's gonna be first. We've always wanted to do this along with SmackDown. We always kind of debating it, but we're also going right along ahead and jumping right into 205 Live.
First time we've actually been able to watch it in a while.
Cover it.
And cover it, really. So...
Oh, quick note. Apparently, half the crowd left before 205 Live really even started.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of sad because this was actually a really good 205 Live. I was really impressed. Like, it hasn't been this good in a long time, in my opinion.
So let's see. What were announced at the beginning of the show was Rich Swann versus TJP for the main event.
TJP.
Let's see. Akira Tozawa will be having an in-ring interview with Corey Graves
Later on.
But first,
but of course we have Akira Tozawa versus Neville for the title at SummerSlam, which we all kind of knew was coming.
Call it pre-show.
Yeah.
But let's jump right into things. Our first contest starts off with Tony Nese versus Cedric Alexander.
Yep.
Oh, what can I say about Tony Nese? The premier athlete who gladly does not have a microphone in his hand.
And he also tends to low blow people by using the ropes.
Well, yeah,
it does happen though with a lot of heels.
It's the same thing with dragging the eyes and the forehead across the ropes.
Yep. But in the end, Nese pulls the tights and wins the match, which I thought was.
Oh yeah, he pulled. Well, it was a nothing match. It was the start of 205 Live, and I'm sorry to say, most 205 Live shtick doesn't really come into the main event. That's mostly why, or the dark main event match that happens afterwards. Which, do you know what the dark main event match was for 205 Live?
No, actually, I don't.
What? Okay, it was Baron Corbin and Kevin Owens. You see where I'm going here? Versus who?
Sami Zayn and AJ Styles? Which is the match we got to see here in Ottawa. But anyway, let's get back to 205 Live. So, there's an interview with the Brian Kendrick, which I'm actually kind of glad to see him back.
You don't watch 205 Live because he's.
No, I mean back in the E in general.
Oh, yes.
Because, I mean, hello.
By the way, he's going to be training Ronda Rousey. Just gonna put that out there.
So Brian starts running his mouth, as always. But guess who actually comes out and attacks him from behind?
Yeah,
and looks very angry.
Not so very gentlemanlike, is it, Mr. Gallagher?
Jack Gallagher. Wow, I've never seen that side of him. I've only ever seen the gentleman side of him. For me to see that, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'd ever want to take him off. Just putting that out there.
And now we come to our squash match of the 205 Live evening.
Noam Dar
versus brings out yet another random
jobber.
Random talent enhancement from Toronto. Mark Thomas was at least what they called him at the very least. I don't know what his actual name was.
We'll look it up later.
And of course,
so
usual.
The crowd starts chanting, "Let's go, Jobber!"
Oh wait, hold on. I actually want to. Before we get to that, I love Noam Dar's opening promo before the match.
I'll let you talk about that one.
Basically says, "I'm 24 years old. I'm the youngest in the cruiserweights. Are you still wrestling, fella? How's that going?" I'm going to kick your ass now.
And lo and behold, he actually does.
Yeah, he just wasn't another tights pulled or something.
I wasn't paying attention to that because, well, I'm sorry.
God, that's 205 Live for you.
It's Noam Dar. I'm sorry, not my favorite from the cruiserweights.
Fine, let's get one of the more highlights of the night. Then let's get to Akira Tozawa being interviewed in the ring by Corey Graves. And
I mean, I've watched some of Corey's stuff from back when he was still in NXT and wrestling.
Okay, I was gonna say NXT. Meanwhile, he was commentating or before the switch happened.
Well, I mean, he's also done commentating down there, and now he's up on doing the main stuff.
Well, I thought you were talking about his previous wrestling run when he was tag team champions with Neville.
I have seen footage. Kind of sad that he's not wrestling anymore, but I
Anyways, so even before the interview can really begins, Neville comes down and he drops, be like, "Corey, we've been friends for a long time. What are you doing interviewing the challenger? I'm the hype.
It's my show. Blah blah blah.
I'm the king of the cruiserweights." And then Neville turns around, and Tozawa asks in his own English, because Neville was saying like, "I came out here because no one wants to hear your shtick because you're not as good as I am."
And of course, Corey's kind of like, "I'm just gonna get out of here before it gets ugly. Bye bye." Basically,
asked Tozawa, "So how is it gonna feel when I take the belt from you?" And now it proceeds to a drag out brawl, which not surprising.
And Tozawa dominates that.
Oh yeah, Neville just runs out of the ring and was like, "Yeah, screw this, I'm out here." But now we come to the highlight of 205 Live, the main event between TJ Perkins and Rich Swann.
Well, he goes by TJP now, even though that's actually his name. But anyway, so TJP comes out first, the Duke of Dab, as he's called. then Rich Swann comes out next, and I mean, they've been buddies for a long time. And I mean, TJP won the Classic and the first ever title against Swann.
What?
You didn't remember that? He defeated Swann in the Classic and won the title.
Yeah, but he beat Rich Swann in the Classic, but that was not the final match for the Cup.
Well,
or the belt.
You know what I mean, though.
Yes.
But I mean, in the end, he ended up winning.
I was gonna say.
But anyway.
Let's see. That's against Grand Metalik. What are you talking about?
So Rich starts to dominate early. TJP kicks out. They lock up. Swann counters. Both try to dominate over the other. Swann throws TJP over the rope. Swann comes off the middle turnbuckle, and then they both start going at it. TJP throws Swann into a turnbuckle, and then TJP dominates. TJP tries to lock in a submission, and there's a lot of back and forth. Then they both ended up on the mat. Swann tries to dominate, and then they fight for domination. And
multiple kickouts. So
Swann misses the Phoenix Splash as TJP escaped. Mm-hmm. Then they both fight for domination, and then there's the detonation kick by TJP.
I could have sworn that Rich Swann hit his head somewhere else in that match before he hit the detonation kick.
Probably, but still.
TJP hits the detonation kick,
was beautiful.
And he quickly pins Rich Swann and then starts gloating like a mother flipper.
Yep.
Literally flips.
TJP's like, what's going on? I mean, I thought we were friends, and then Swann's, calls him out. Like, they both try to call each other out, and TJP's like, well, you know me, and Swann says, I'm starting to know who you really are. And
I swear, they're
the look on TJP's face.
Can you tell they're
wow.
Can you tell they're copying the storyline on Raw a little bit between Dean and Seth?
I still think it's funny.
But anyways, that concludes today's Squared Circle discussions. We discussed 205 Live and SmackDown. We're here. We're always gonna be here, and always we will see you again in the next video. Well, in the next video. Enjoy your days.